Greetings, fellow rock lovers. It's time for another episode of Slabbing the Rocks that I found out in West Texas. Yep, I found this myself out along the Rio Grande River near the town of Lajitas. What kind of slab will this make? I don't know. I remember when I got it wet, I could see lots of interesting color in it. So maybe we're in for a pleasant surprise. There's only one way to find out. Let's get this thing in the shop and get some slabs. The slabbing is finished. Let's take a look. What do we have here? Let's start with this little end cut. Ooh, you know what? I like that. It's interesting, right? Let's see this first full slab here. I got these a little wet just to show some of the detail. Well, I think that's interesting. I like the little tiny specks in there and then the contrasting colors. Here, let's look at this last slab. Ooh. Oh, I can imagine making a cabochon from this. That sort of looks like flowers to me, in a way. You know, if you use your imagination. Oh, very cool. This rock is definitely better than I was expecting. Next up is this rock, which, now that I look at it dry, I think is going to be a bit of a disappointment. It's clearly a sedimentary type rock. You see all those layers. I guess when I got it wet out in the field, I was thinking maybe it was something, but now that it's dry, it's probably going to be a dud. Let's find out. Let me get this in the shop and get some slabs off of it. The cutting is finished on this one now. How did it turn out? Let's start with the end cap, of course. You know, it's not great, but it's not horrible, right? Let's see the first full slab. What does this look like? Well, it's okay. I like the lines in it. The colors are, it's just so-so. Finally, this last slab. I'm on the fence with this one. It's not horrible, but it's certainly nothing great, right? I'll say this, though. It's better than I expected. I really was not expecting much once I took a look at this thing. So on that front, at least it's okay. For our third rock, how about this one? Clearly some kind of conglomerate rock. You can see lots of small stones in there that make up this rock. Usually these are pretty interesting to slab. Will this one be interesting? Let's find out. Let's get some slabs off of it. Okay, this one's all finished with the cutting, and let's start with the end piece as usual. That's kind of interesting. I like this redder area down here. Let's see this first slab. Well, it's interesting. That looks like a big fracture right there, doesn't it? Let's see, will that break? Oh yeah. The rest of it looks okay. Let's see this last slab. Kind of a cool pattern in this area up here. Yeah, look at that. Another big fracture there. Yeah, oh well. Break it now, right? And this is what we have left. Now you can clearly see that big fracture running through there. But what do you think of the rock itself? I think it has an interesting pattern. I'll leave it at that. And for our last rock, let's do this big one here. It almost looks like, oh, I don't know, some sort of jaspery type material. Got lots of contrasting colors in it. Will it make for a good slab? I don't know. Hopefully it will. This one of the four excites me the most. Let's find out. Let's get this in the shop and get some slabs off of it. Check it out, the big one has been slabbed, and let's take a look. Ooh, well, it's interesting, right? It's not super exciting, but has a beautiful sort of marbly look to it, I guess. Let's see this first slab. Nice contrast there between the dark and the light area. Lots of this fracturing and these little voids in here, though, that will present a problem when we go to make a cabochon. Still a lot of oil on this one, isn't there? What do you think? It sort of has a cloudy-like pattern right here. That's interesting. I don't know. This one's also got me on the fence. Has a lot of these voids in it. You see right in here? And it is rather plain, so this one's rather average as well, I suppose. Okay, it's time to do the final grading here. Let's start with this first piece. I'll be honest with you, I really like this one. I think it's beautiful. And I can imagine making a very interesting cabochon from this area over here especially. But with these little tiny dots in that darker section, I think that will make for some beautiful cabochons as well. So I'm going to give this one a solid B. Now, next up we did, I think it was this one. What to say about this one? What kind of grade should we give it? It's kind of average in my opinion. Nothing spectacular. But it could make an interesting cabochon, so let's say a C. Now this one, which broke as you saw, in spite of that, it still has some very interesting patterning in there. So will this make a good cabochon? Look at all the little fractures. You can really see it there. I think that'll be a challenge to turn into a cab. See it there as well. So let's go ahead and give this one a, let's just say a D. And finally, this big guy here kind of looks like marble. It's pretty in a way, for sure. That light color and the yellow-orangey color there. I like how it looks like clouds down here. But then you have all these voids, these cracks. Yeah, see, that would be really challenging to cab that. So let's say for this piece, I'm going to say a C+. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to check my other videos for more like this. Thanks again.